We all know that San Antonio is a city rich in history and culture, but many folks don't like the Alamo City, and it's not for everyone, and that's okay. I myself have gone and come back a few times. So, in this video, let's go ahead and kick things off and talk about the top 10 reasons not to move to San Antonio, Texas. Hey y'all, my name is Mina and I'm a real estate agent here in San Antonio, Texas. Now, I love to talk about everything from real estate, the military, food, city events, the weather, really anything that has to do anything with San Antonio, I'm going to talk about it here. Now, if that sounds like something you'd really love to learn about or enjoy, then go ahead and tap that like button, go ahead and smash that subscribe button and tap that notification bell, and you'll be notified anytime I put out a new video on this channel. Now look, we get so many people reaching out every single day and we absolutely love it, and you can do the same thing too. Go ahead and send us that text, give us a call, send us an email, or skip all of that and schedule your Zoom meeting here in the link down below. Whatever your comfort level is, we've got your back when it comes to living here in San Antonio, Texas. Let's go ahead and kick things off with number 1 on our top 10 reasons of why not to move to San Antonio, Texas, and that would actually be lower income. So San Antonio has a lower income than the national average. The median household income in San Antonio, based on the US Census in 2020, was $53,420 a year for a family of 4. So that means a monthly income of roughly $4,500 per family. So if you're moving from a big city, for example, New York, Los Angeles, and you assume a similar position here in San Antonio, you might be taking some kind of pay cut. So San Antonio does, on the other hand, have cheaper housing than most of the major cities and a lower cost of living overall. So if income is a big issue to you, then you better consider not moving to San Antonio, Texas. So crime in San Antonio. You definitely don't think about the crime when moving to San Antonio, but let's go ahead and talk about it. The city scores in the 4th percentile for safest cities in the US. So that means that 96% of US cities are safer than San Antonio. I mean, that's rather shocking. San Antonio's crime rate is 1.5 times greater than the national average. You have a 1 in 165 chance of becoming a victim of a violent crime in San Antonio, and that is according to the statistics from the San Antonio Police Department. So this is my number 2 reason of top 10 reasons of not to move to San Antonio. When moving to San Antonio, one of the many things folks need to consider is allergies. So San Antonio and her residents prepare themselves yearly for the great pollinating. Now, this is when the infamous cedar fever tends to kick in. It's usually early spring. You'll start seeing a yellowish substance called pollen blown all over the city, making it look like large flumes of smoke all over. So this yellow dust, it actually comes from all the cedar trees here in South Texas, and many people, they have so many seasonal allergies, and this becomes really debilitating. You'll see symptoms like nasal congestion, incessant sneezing, red, itchy, watery eyes, headaches, fatigue, fever. And if that isn't enough for you, when the rain arrives, it often kicks up the molds and the ragweed to all-time highs. So this makes San Antonio rank number 4 for most challenging cities in the fall for allergy sufferers, and 5th worst for spring allergy sufferers, making San Antonio a terrible place to live for allergy sufferers. So let's talk about the heat in San Antonio. It is hot here. So the average temperature in July is actually 95 degrees, and that's not including all the triple-digit days that we've been having. So this year alone in 2022, we've had 34 triple-digit days, and now we're on a heat wave to shatter the record of triple-digit days. You can see here the last gold, silver, and bronze days, all 2009, 11, and 13. Now we're going to add 2022 to that list. The extreme heat and humidity can actually increase potential heat-related illnesses such as exhaustion and heat stroke. So I know when I go work out outside, sometimes I don't get to get out there till about 2 p.m. It's the hottest part of the day, and my crazy butt, I'm going outside to do a run, to do a workout, whatever it takes, I've got to get my workout done. So I decided the other day, I'm going to go work out outside. It was 102 degrees. I brought my water with me. I got right to the very tail end. I didn't realize how exhausted I was, and what did I do? I dislocated my knee. Talk about a bummer. So staying hydrated in the Alamo City is so important. Make sure if you are out in those triple digits heat that you're hitting the pool, go into a local watering hole. Just make sure you stay hydrated in the Alamo City. Traffic. Who loves traffic? Am I right? With our city constantly expanding, there's relentless construction all over the city and congestion on the city's roads and highways. So be ready to sit in traffic in the mornings, there's going to be no doubt about it. So from 6:30 a.m. to about 9 a.m. in the morning, get prepared for your commute to work. You will be sitting in some traffic. Traffic can be so horrendous sometimes with construction trucks in the way. Heaven forbid there's an accident, some type of roadblock, or some fun-loving guy sitting in the fast lane, texting or calling and not paying attention to what's going on to the left or to the right. Now in the afternoon on Mondays through Fridays, you can generally expect traffic to start kicking up around 3 p.m. and usually runs to about 6:30, depending on what direction you're traveling. So it's not uncommon for you to be sitting in traffic for 30 minutes to an hour here in the Alamo City. So the average commute time in San Antonio is 25 minutes. Let's talk about reason number 6 and why not to move to San Antonio. Now, if you love baseball and you love football, well, I hate to break it to you, but San Antonio has no Major League Baseball or football teams. With multiple attempts of trying to bring them into the Alamo City, it's never really panned out. Now, if that's not a huge deal to you and you're not a sports fan, hey, no big deal, right? But it can be upsetting for many, and if you're looking for some hometown camaraderie, you're not going to find it with any Major League Baseball or football teams. However, we do have our San Antonio Spurs. They are 5-time NBA champions, and we love them. Go Spurs, go. I know you've heard me say this before, but yes, San Antonio has a housing shortage. So San Antonio is Military City, USA, and what does that mean? Well, we've got active military, veterans, and civilians moving in and out of the city throughout the year, which really helps keep the real estate market on its toes. So that's not even mentioning people who are just coming to relocate to the Alamo City, or folks here who are looking to buy a bigger home or buy a smaller home. So prices are predicted to rise by 3.5% by the end of the year in 2022. So San Antonio now is roughly sitting with about 1.8 months worth of homes for sale in the market, and that's actually keeping an average of about 325,000 in Bexar County, and that's according to San Antonio Board of Realtors. So as for rental market, the average price, it's about 12% up, and that's making monthly costs rent to be right around $18.49 a month. And again, this also depends on where you're located in the Alamo City. So number 8 on our list is extreme weather. San Antonio gets some really bizarre weather. It usually arrives in the form of scorching, blistering sun, heavy rains, flooding, and on some rare occasions, tornadoes. Yes, I'm actually talking about tornadoes. Now, if that isn't enough to make you think, what the heck is going on here? Then take a look at this summer. This summer, we're actually pushing record-breaking triple-digit days. Just like in true Texas fashion, we can have all of these weather events in one single day. If extreme weather isn't for you, then you'll agree with me when I say that number 8's reason not to move to San Antonio is extreme weather. We all love music, am I right? If you're really into seeing live shows and music events, you should know that San Antonio was recently named 4th worst city for music venues for the lack of live music and events in the United States. Now, this was according to the Bureau of Economic Analysis by the U.S. Census in 2021. Now, with Austin, Texas being our capital and the music capital of Texas, San Antonio is really a far cry of what we could be musically, being that we're just a stone throw away. Now, the city does have locations where you can go see pop-up bands like at Sam's Burger Joint or catch a concert at Whitewater Amphitheater, go to Flora's Country Store, or even the Tobin Center. I myself have caught the prices right at the Tobin Center. It was pretty fun. And we go to Flora's Country Store a lot, and it's actually Helotes, Texas. You can see some really awesome country music like Randy Rogers or Dwight Yoakam, just to name a few. So some of the recent developments that have happened in the Alamo City, the San Antonio Symphony and Orchestra has decided to no longer keep its doors open. Now, this was one of the longest standing music events here in the Alamo City, so you're no longer going to be able to go and see this wonderful music. It's really sad. So if music and events are things that you really love to do, then you'll see why this is one of the reasons not to move to San Antonio, Texas. So many folks may not know it, but San Antonio has a high count of roaming dogs in the city. Now, after recently collected data from surveys by Animal Care Service, they actually estimate unrestrained dog population to be around 34,636 dogs at any given time. Now, 87 to 96% of all these unrestrained dogs that are roaming are pet-owned animals. Only 7% of the dogs seen in the city are stray and not owned. Now, this is happening due to the lack of confinements, of safe confinement at home and restraining of the pet, and due to the lack of education on what being a responsible pet owner is really like. So, this is wrapping up my top 10 list. So, if roaming dogs sound like an issue to you, that would wrap up number 10 on my top 10 reasons of why not to move to San Antonio, Texas. I just gave you my top 10 reasons why not to live in San Antonio, keeping it real with you, letting you know what the traffic's like, the housing market, the roaming dog problem, and all these other things you'll most likely experience if you're making your way out to San Antonio, Texas. Now look, if you've made it this far and you haven't hit that like button already, go ahead and do so. It's going to help anybody else find these helpful videos. Hit that subscribe button or go ahead and tap that notification bell and you'll get notified anytime we put out a new video on this channel. Now, like I said in the very beginning, we get so many people reaching out and we absolutely love it. If you're thinking about moving, if you're determined to move, if you're already here and you're just looking for a place that best fits your lifestyle, whichever category you fall under, go ahead and reach out to us. Give us a call, send us a text, send us an email, skip down to the bottom and go ahead and schedule your Zoom link call. Whatever works for you. We've got your back when it comes to living in San Antonio, Texas. Birds up.